Word.
Now I gotta readjust it because it does that zoom in thing when you switch to video.
Oh, I don't know why it does
Good
that.
there. You have notes.
I got notes on my laptop, so yeah. I'm going to do people just be walking in, and I'm like, I cannot have a day where we got people walking in and out like that. I had the door open for probably 10 minutes, and I had 3 people try to come in here, and I was like, no,
Never
we're
happened.
not open yet. We're not there yet. All right. Let me pull up what I got. I want to try to pull up the outline just because you're fine. You're going to have to sit down. You're not in this. All right, you got the outline?
I had it, but I looked at it this morning, so it's in my
Okay.
head.
All right, so you better than me. I can't do that.
No, it's not all the way there. I'm sure you're gonna have to inspire me a couple times.
All right, so who we are
Yep.
and the purpose and the intent of this space. Who are you?
Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't get me to start. Because that's like the most loaded question.
That's
you
a
can ask.
huge question you can ask someone. And we put it in boxes.
Yeah, right.
We're like, I'm this, I'm this, I'm this. Check it all out.
Well, most of the time we say what we do.
Yes.
Right? Like, isn't that crazy? That's the first thing most people lead with.
With their jobs.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's not who you are,
Yeah,
though.
that's what you. I said, who are you?
Uh-huh.
Who are you? I'm asking you.
Who am I? Ooh, I am a...
What's your name?
I'm Kay.
Yeah, that's a good start.
Just Kay. And I am a proud Philadelphian.
Bad.
I am a proud Germantown Philadelphian, which is even more specific. And I am the daughter of my grandmother. And everything I do is informed by who she was and who she is and who she continues to be, past, present, and future.
Bad. I'm Jordan Holbert.
All right.
Cutting that.
Nice to
I'm
meet
Jordan.
you.
I'm Jordan. Very nice to meet you, Kay. I know I just made this whole thing about how we lead with who we are, but like, I'm Coach Jordan, and that's a huge part of who I am.
Yeah.
I think some things gotta span into your life, and coaching is one of those things. Not a native Philadelphian, from Reading, but been in Philly my whole adult life, and like, I'm the perfect combination of both, Reading and Philly. I think it comes through in how I talk, so when we're listening to the podcast or the show, you might hear it flip back and forth a little bit.
Yeah.
But that's a little bit about me. I'm super excited about having this space to talk about books and about music and about the 2 different mediums and how they can intersect and how they can take one theme and examine it from 2 different ways, but like really get to the same point or give you the same lesson or an informed lesson.
Yes.
And I think that it's crazy that we're having it here.
Yes.
At Harriet's.
I know, because
Right?
this is where it all started. This is where it all started.
I remember I came in here for Christmas books.
Yeah, it was Christmas. Yeah.
Christmas time, came in, wasn't buying any gifts that were not going to help people grow. So I think I bought some
Oh, you left with
workout
a stack.
equipment
You
and
left
a
with
stack
a
of books. I left out with this like 8, 9, 10 books. Almost a 2 trip.
It was, you had coffee table books, you had everything.
Yeah,
You got
one of my
some
favorites
really
is
good
the
ones.
little green book about the black businesses from back in the day in Philly.
Yes.
That's a really cool find.
Yes.
Something you only find at a spot like Harriet's, and there's not many spots like Harriet's.
Yeah, and that's the thing. We are in Harriet's Bookshop in Fishtown. Opened in 2019 and is a beacon of Black queer literature. And we're proud to be here because it's 5 years. Our owner is the visionary, and she's out here doing the work, has been doing the work.
Visionary, entrepreneur,
Everything. Author, entrepreneur,
Human.
Artist, teacher, everything.
All that.
Multi-hyphenate. And yeah, that's what brought us together too, I feel like, when we think about like our why, right? Like, why are we showing up to this space?
Mm-hmm.
How we're showing up to this space. We're both multi-hyphenates.
For sure.
To the highest extent. To the highest extent. We do not be leading with what we do day to day. But like you said, being a coach informs who you are.
Right.
And how you show up, but you do a lot of other things
Whole bunch
too.
of other things.
A lot of other things.
I was coming in today. I was doing one of the other things. Like
Yes. Always on the phone.
Being able to put those hats, pick up hats, put down hats. I think it comes from being able to pick up books and put down books.
Yes.
Right. If you can, once you read a book, your brain is forever different. Right. Like any book you take off the wall.
Yeah.
Those ideas from that author are now not your ideas.
Yeah.
But they influence your ideas.
That's a bar.
Whether you agree or disagree, right? You can't read and comprehend anything without it having some type of influence on you. So that's what I think is so powerful about the written word, however it comes out, whether it's a poem, a book, a sonnet, a play, a movie, an album, right? Like all of those different things are taking an idea of yours, formulating it in a way that like you can share it with someone else. Because like there's times where I have something going on in here and it's like electrons just bouncing around. But to take that idea and form those electrons into words, and then have you understand my words and comprehend my words, like that's the thing that is the most human, right? Like that is what separates us from anything.
It's a different level of awareness, and it's like when you think about why we need this now, like books and literature and poetry and music, those are the cornerstones of how we build friendship and how we build community. And like that's what we built our friendship on. And you see the ways I think now, like people don't know how to read, and it's not even like don't know how to read, it's don't know how to read each other. And it's like if I can't read a book, if I can't read words on a page, I can't read what's happening around me. It's a skill.
So, I don't know if I've ever told you this, but like read, write, and know numbers is what my dad told me. Right? Read, write, know numbers. I took that a step further. And read books, read people, read places. Right?
Read books, read people, read places. Yes.
Write about yourself, about the world, and what you want your place to be in it. Not just what your place is, what you want your place to be in it, right? Because you get to decide, right? And that's going to take us, when we get into Invisible Man and to Pimp a Butterfly, like that awareness at the end is like crazy. And then know numbers. If you know how to tell the story of numbers, right? Because we still live in America. This is a store. This is not a free library, right? We got people that have money to keep things smooth, right? So if you know how to read and write, and you can tell the story of the numbers, or use the numbers to get you from where you're at to where you're trying to go, that's all coaching is, right? It's track season. I'm a track coach now, so I'm trying to get you from running an 11.2 to get you down to a 10.9. Right? And that's nothing.
But how to make those numbers work for you too, because so often I think we let our lives be dictated by numbers in a way that pulls us actually from
or makes us think that there's nothing we can do about the numbers. That's why you gotta really know them.
Exactly. And so it's like when we really think about, what does it mean to put literature at the center and the cornerstone of everything that we're doing. Put music at the center of what we're doing.
Shared experience at the center. Shared experiences are so important, and I'm excited because this is all about shared experience, right? Like this was you're a fucking crazy person. Like, what did I ask you? I asked you how many books you read last year, and like in my head, I'm like, yo, Kay's crazy. Like, I'd never seen Kay without a book, never talked to her, and books didn't come up. She's always reading like 3-4 books at a time. So if she's doing 3 or 4 books at a time, I'm a round up, say 4. She probably read like 48, 50 books. I come in thinking, yeah, damn, like my friend Kay is crazy. How many books did you read last year?
Last year, it was over 100.
It's insane.
And I read, and that's the thing too. And I'm not someone to knock Audible and stuff, but I'm proud of the fact that I actually turned the page. Like, I'm turning the pages.
But that had to be the only thing you were doing in 2020. Like, you didn't have friends, you didn't have no, you didn't have a job, you weren't outside unless you were reading.
I was all of the above,
you couldn't have. 100+ books is crazy.
All of the above, and look, things vary in length. I pick up a poetry book, like you can zip through that in a day and an afternoon. But that's the thing. It's not about the number, because at the end of the day, like what feeds you and what feeds your soul. And I had to turn to books last year out of necessity to just try to get a handle on what is happening in the world. And sometimes, we don't always need to create new. We can go back and actually see what has been said, and let new be created from that. But we live in such a culture of production. I was like, I actually don't need to add anything to this conversation right now. I just need to sit, and I need to sit at the feet of our elders
and experience
it for myself in that moment.
Yo, that's something about sitting at the feet, right? Like, do they still sit at the feet and like have somebody read a story? Because like that's like a real core memory for generations of people. And so quickly, what we did for generations and generations and generations changed because of technology.
Yes.
Right? So like you said, an Audible book, like, that's a new thing. You used to have to sit and read and be in the story.
Or you used to have to go somewhere.
Go far enough back. Written word wasn't a thing. Like books aren't that old of a piece of technology. And I'm gonna still call them technology because that's what they are, right?
Yeah.
At one point, if there was something written down, it was written down for that one time.
Yes. And you think about the oral history.
When it was gonna happen again, you had to write it down again.
Yeah.
Oral history.
Yes.
Right? You had to be told by the griots what the story was.
And you had to remember it.
If you weren't good at it, no, you don't get to tell the stories. You don't get to tell the stories of our people. You don't get to tell the stories of our past, of our culture. That person gets to.
Because it was art. Like, it was treated as, literacy was treated with regard and respect. And people had respect for the words that they were saying and what they were writing on the page. And what they were also creating
you had to do it intentionally.
Right.
It was intention. Now you can, I know we're literally doing it, right? Like we're sitting down having a conversation, but like anybody now gets to tell their story. And I think that there's good to that.
Yeah.
But like, we also have to know what stories are worth being told. Not even worth being told. Let me take that back.
Yeah.
Let's just be cognizant of what stories we're taking in and listening to.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Why is that story being told? Who's it being told by? Who's it being told about?
Yeah.
Right? So, do you want to go first? I guess we should tell like what this is, like what we're doing with Books and Bars.
So, this was your suggestion, trying to get me to do something. Because we always have conversations like this, and you're like, all right, we need to finally do something with this. I agreed.
Gratefully.
And I agreed because of who you are, the respect I have for you, our friendship. And so you start, because this is your thing. So
one of my goals for 2026 was to create a space where more men specifically were reading books. I saw this years ago, maybe like 2016 or 15. Someone had created this list and shared it on social media of books that they read that aligned with an album that they liked.
Mm-hmm.
And then when they were reading the book, they listened to the album. They'd spend that month going back and forth. I was like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Let me sit down and come up with why I want people to read more, right? And the first thing I got to was awareness, right? So month one was all about awareness.
Yeah.
And I chose Invisible Man and To Pimp a Butterfly. So Invisible Man is a 1952 novel by, was it 52 or 62? 62.
I think it was 62.
62 and 63 years old. 1962 novel by Ralph Ellison.
Yep.
And a 2016 album.
52.
52, my bad.
Yep, we good.
1952, appreciate you, internet. 1952 novel by Ralph Ellison, Invisible Man. 2016 album by Kendrick Lamar, To Pimp a Butterfly.
Yes.
Right? Years, generations apart, decades apart, but both dealing with awareness.
Yes.
So that's where, that's the first month of what I called the I'm Him Book Club.
Yeah.
Books and Bars, right?
Yeah.
Books and Bars Social Club. Let me stand corrected. So we've got a little Discord if you want to join.
Yes.
The link will be in the bio.
Get plugged in. Get plugged in.
Come join the Discord. But yeah, it was really that idea that the first month of the year is about awareness.
Yeah.
So our January combo was Invisible Man, To Pimp a Butterfly. Awareness was the theme, and I shared that with you.
Yeah.
You rocked with it.
Yep.
And then you came up with the her list. So
yes.
What did you do for January?
So I did Rock My Soul, Bell Hooks, and if anyone who is not familiar with Bell Hooks, legend, feminist, black woman who carved out space in a time where space wasn't always created, was someone who was constantly thinking about what it means to be in relation to yourself and to people. And so, Rock My Soul is an in-depth look at critical issues, in a way, facing Black Americans and the ways that those things endure. Beautiful, beautiful book, and talking about the ways that self-esteem especially really shapes who we are and whose we are. And I paired it with Solange, A Seat at the Table, 2016, an album that has raised me in so many ways, an album that I have worn out on vinyl, and it's something that we see Solange and we see the work that she does and the way that she is a multi-hyphenate and is in a way doing what Bell Hooks was challenging folks to take up in this book.
Right.
So you can kind of see like the legacy carried on really, really beautifully.
What you said goes back to the earlier point of like, when you do something,
yes,
right, and you put it down,
yes,
you never know who's gonna pick it up.
Yes.
You never know how it's gonna get picked up and then inspire that next person.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what's crazy? Like as you get through to Pimp a Butterfly, that album actually ends with a crazy conversation. You know the conversation?
Yeah.
Right? So there's that conversation that we end up at.
Come on.
In Pimp a Butterfly with Tupac and Kendrick.
Yes.
In Invisible Man,
yes,
he's underground, right? He's not underground because he's hiding. He's underground because he's finally getting to know him. He's finally by himself, right? He's doing this underground with stolen electricity, which there's a whole thing there. Right? The whole stuff, stolen electricity thing. Underground, writing, deciding who he's gonna be when he emerges.
Yes.
Right. So like, I'm Him is really kind of the continuation of both of those things. Yeah. With that Black masculine awareness that's been like put together and now is ready to be reemerged. Yeah. So I guess not everybody's read and listened to. Yeah. So we should shift over to what these pieces of art are about. Yes. So I'll start. To Pimp a Butterfly is actually I want to start with Invisible Man. We'll start with the book.
Yeah. Okay. Yep.
So Invisible Man says that he's not invisible because he's invisible. His invisibility is because people choose not to see him. Yes. And that's first page. Yeah. That's first page.
Oh, that's a book. You will open that and you will say, "We along for the ride."
Right, that's first page, first paragraph. Hooked. Yeah. Right. And the first time I read it, I threw that shit. Like I chucked it. Yes. I couldn't do it. Right.
It's a hard text.
It's hard. I was like, ooh, this doesn't make me feel good. I stopped.
But you gotta lean into that.
The second time, I was a little older. Like I was young. Yeah. The second time I was a little older, and I still put it down. It took me to the fourth time to get all the way through it. Yeah. One, it's a thick text. It's like 500 pages. Yeah. Right. The length of the book is long, but the content is thick. The content is like haunting because it was written in 52, but it feels present throughout all of America because things don't change, right? Yes. So the book starts off as the narrator who is unnamed the entire time. Mm-hmm. A whole book, 500 plus pages. Yep. Man's got no name. Yep.
And that's a literary device in of itself.
To be able to write that is crazy too. Right? So it starts off and his grandfather dies. His grandfather tells him basically that you have to write your story, basically. Yeah. Right? And then he goes through these different phases of life. It starts off with him at school, at a prestigious boarding school. They live there.
I would say, yeah.
Some type of prestigious, like grade school, high school type of opportunity. It's framed as, but the opportunity involves him and a group of other young black men going and basically competing, right? And they think it's a competition of wits.
Yeah.
They go in expecting to give a speech and be measured on their eloquence, on their delivery, on how they can tell a story and connect ideas.
Yeah.
But before they can do that, it's the battle royale, right? This is like white men sitting around in a circle.
Yep.
Young black men in the middle of that circle, blindfolded,
and that's the like just
covered in oil.
Think of that visual, like really sit with
and again,
that
this is
visual.
52,
right?
This isn't slave times,
right?
This is supposed to be almost 100 years past where this is even possible.
But that heaviness, you can still it's in that visual.
It's not that far removed of an idea that it's hard to get to.
Right.
It's not like you're writing about something on a different planet, eons and eons away.
Right.
Right. It's
yes
something that you can still very easily picture. So this happens. The boys are pitted against each other physically, and he wants this chance. Even as he's fighting and dirt's on his face and blood's coming out of his nose and he's getting beat up and blindfolded, right? Still thinking about, I just want the chance to speak about who I am.
Yes.
To share my thoughts.
Yes.
Finally, he wins the battle royale, gets to do it, and that whole story ends with laughter. He says that he believes in equality. This raucous crowd goes to silence. Raucous crowd goes to silence. He goes, what did you say? What did you say? Like, the idea of equality between black and white was so against that it was revolutionary enough to stop all the raucousness. Absolute debauchery came to a screeching halt. So, that part of his story wraps up. Goes on to the next part where he goes off to college, right? And he's driving the old, what do they call him? He's the trustee.
Yes.
The trustee, the old white man who pays for the college.
I was going to say something else that I probably shouldn't have said.
Listen, we could edit or we could not. So if you got things to say.
I think there's a significance of this being set in education. This whole book.
All of it.
And I think you can have a whole conversation about what it means to go into an institution, a place of education, and we have two very different understandings in this country of what it means to be educated. And that is in of itself, that image, and the images and all of these taking place in a school, especially.
Like the first two, there's really four parts to this story. The first two are in education, and in education where you worked hard to get to.
Yes.
Right? You worked hard to get to that good boarding school. You worked hard to get to that good college. You were set up for success. Right? Like allegedly. So,
and what kind of success?
What's the end goal? Right? So he goes, has this experience at college where the trustee almost dies, and he ends up getting himself kicked out of college because all of this happened under his purview, and someone had to be the scapegoat. So he gets kicked out of college, right? And goes and gets a job at a factory. And what they make at this factory is optic white paint. Right? And the only way that paint can be made is by adding black drops to it. And if that's not a perfect metaphor,
because what do we know?
How capitalism works in America is to take these drops of blackness, and make this sea of white that makes money.
But to also recognize that blackness is the foundation.
Doesn't work without.
You cannot have what it means to look at even from a basic color standpoint. You have to have black.
Right? Like that's full stop right there. So now he's gone education, workforce. Right? And had to give up part of himself at each one of those. Right? Had to give up his physical body to get educated the first time. Had to give up his educational opportunity because he listened to the trustee who told him to take him off campus. Then he's actually good at this job. He's good at this job. And then the job is taken away. And now he's got no food. He's got nowhere to live.
What's left?
No healthcare. Right? So you go and you join the Brotherhood.
What's changed?
Right? You go and you join the Brotherhood where you're brought in to lead a movement. Right? He becomes the spokesperson for this entire movement, but in becoming the spokesperson, loses his personhood.
Yeah.
Right? And then even the organization of Brotherhood uses him up and discards him into society.
Yes.
And now he retreats underground. And while he's there, he realizes, like, his grandfather's instructions, that's all he has left. Decide who you're going to be. Don't let the world continue to tell you who you are.
Right.
And it will. It will. Unless you decide who you are, the world will decide for you.
Because even when you're among your own, and you don't know that, the world will still decide for you.
It's facts.
And that's heavy.
Yeah.
That's heavy. You have to have that firm foundation. And I think, elders talk about that all the time. We can talk about that in many aspects. What it means to have those feet planted firmly on a solid rock.
And what happens when we stop having other people to show us where that rock is or how to get to it, right? When we get so untethered to that rock and to that connected shared experience, you get really far out. And I think that is where Kendrick's To Pimp a Butterfly starts off.
Yes.
Right? So he's on that ascension, right?
Yeah.
He's becoming famous. He's actually become famous.
Yeah.
And now it's like, all right, I became famous rapping about this place, this neighborhood, right? This lifestyle, but now the money says that I can't be around this place,
pulls you, this
culture, this lifestyle, and it's, am I over here or am I over here?
Yeah.
And who am I outside of the performance?
Yes.
Who am I outside of, the dude who's on the stage or the dude who's in the light, right? Like, who is this person? There's so many hits on that album, like, and they're like bops, like they're good to listen to. But when you really listen to them, like,
and that's how it should be. That's how it should be.
You should be able to win the Grammy. I don't know how they gave it to Macklemore, but you should be able to win the Grammy and have some joints in the club.
We know how.
Well, yeah, it's true. It's the Grammy, Tony. It's the Grammy.
It's the same thing. Chasing these institutions.
The institutions are always
chasing the validation.
Always after the commercialism.
Yes.
Right? It's the instrumentalization.
Yes.
That's such a hard word for me to say, but I said it.
You said it. You got there.
Right? Turning a person into an instrument that is an instrument for a system.
Yes.
Right? It happens all throughout Invisible Man. Kendrick raps about it all throughout. And again, they both end with these deeply reflective and introspective endpoints. One is in solitude and one is in true brotherhood. Like inspired brotherhood, right? So the unnamed man in Invisible Man is writing by himself underground with stolen electricity in a story about America, which would not have become what it became without stolen blackness, but also stolen idea of electricity from a black man, right? And he's in there writing underground, reflecting, becoming, and deciding who he's going to be.
Yeah.
Kendrick has this amazing conversation with an artist that clearly influenced him, right? Both West Coast, Tupac and Kendrick are like different generations of a similar artist.
Yeah.
And that conversation ends off with two black men talking about being black in America. And it's real words that Tupac said.
Yeah.
Right? It's just an amazing way to like end an entire album that's asking, who are you? There's a song called You. There's a song called I.
Yes.
There's the hit that everyone knows, All Right, We Gonna Be All Right. Like all of these songs are about the self, but also the self amongst the collective.
And also the many dimensions of self. Like, we have to get to a point in culture where we give ourselves permission to evolve.
Facts.
And that's okay. Now, you're always going to have your foundation. You're always going to have your integrity. You're always going to have, I hope, you're always going to have something that you're planted in. Whose you are, whose you want to be. And we still evolve.
Yes.
And that's okay. And I think, go ahead, because I know you got something.
There's two things that you said, right? There's hopefully you can stay tethered.
Yes.
Right? That's a hope. And then there's the fact that you're going to change. That's a fact, right? So if we're not staying tethered, which is what we're hoping, and we're not doing, right? We could do it. We could be doing things.
Yeah.
Like there was a point where we were doing things. Like you want to talk about Black culture? Like the Black church used to be a place where you went not just to go get your spirit right? Not just, and sometimes you didn't do that, but you went there and you learned how to read. You learn how to speak in front of people.
Yes.
You learn how to be around adults.
You learn how
whether
to
those adults were good or not. You learn how to be in community.
Yep.
You learn how to sing and dance. And all those things that we then took and got better at and took to school.
Yes.
And took to the work phase.
Yes.
Like, that was like our training camp. Right? We got rid of our training camp. We got rid of the rec centers.
Yeah.
We're closing down libraries. We're closing down schools. Like, and then we're giving screens. So the changes that we know are happening, we're pouring more into the changes at the counter production of that thing that tethers us.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, like the biggest thing for now. Like why we need to be doing this now.
Yeah.
And I want to hear from you because you picked, that album is crazy. And Bell Hooks, I haven't read that, the book that you chose for this month, but I've read Bell Hooks, and like, if that's not one of the most talented, brilliant minds that we've ever had. So I can't wait to hear from you about what this book was.
And I think hearing you go back over gave me even more of an appreciation of how these overlap. Because like you look at Seat at the Table, right? You got those interludes. Like, glory is in you. And understanding that so much of, you think about like Ntozake Shange, found God in myself, and I loved her fiercely. You have to see yourself as divine with depth, and you have to understand that art and Black literature cannot exist without depth.
Stop. I don't know why. I just feel like this might not be going, and I'll cry. No, we're good. All right.
Good?
Yeah. I just got panicky.
Well, you gotta listen. Yes, you gotta listen to that when it happens. I have learned that.
Because I realized I didn't have it on D&D, and like if anyone would have called, it would have knocked it off. All right.
But you can't understand Black literature without depth. And depth takes work. That's something that we have to work at over time. Because ultimately, we have conversations about these things and we bring them to life differently. You gonna read Bell Hooks and you gonna get a completely different understanding than when I read Bell Hooks. I'm gonna read Bell Hooks now in my mid-20s, and I'm gonna have a completely different understanding when I reread it in my mid-30s. And that is what is so beautiful about literature.
I couldn't even get through my book when I was younger.
And right. And look at how much you've grown. Because there was something in that time period that allowed you to sit with that discomfort differently. And that's growth.
Yeah.
That's growth. And so thinking about Rock My Soul, which is the book that I chose for this month, Bell Hooks is an author that you have to be willing to struggle with. You're not going to read Bell Hooks and understand it immediately. And I think that's one of the gifts of her work is she demands rigor. And she demands that you take in something and be careful with how you sit with it. So you can't just breeze through Bell Hooks. I don't read Bell Hooks in an afternoon. I read Bell Hooks over the course of a couple months because it is difficult. It is difficult. It's divine always, and it's difficult. And that's how she loved us. Like that's really how she demanded that love work.
And you have to respect that type of art
Yes.
with that amount of reverence and intention and appreciation, because if it's that hard and difficult to read, right? Imagine writing it.
Right.
Imagine living with that in your head and having to take those electrons and put that into something that makes
But you have to understand how she lived, and I think too, like when you think about Bell Hooks, you know, I'm trying to think, because she was at Yale, which in that institution, like you were saying, and so she was at Stanford, Yale, New College of Florida, and the City College of New York. I don't pretend like I remember everything, so we go use Google. But she went by Gloria Jean Watkins, was her government name. She used the name Bell Hooks as a pen name. She's known as an author, a theorist, an educator, community member, and she wrote poetry. She wrote so many books.
Yeah.
If you just look at her catalog, it's unending. It is unending. And she wrestled with many issues, particularly class, race, sexism, all of the isms are things that she struggled with. And particularly for this book, she really looks at why do so many Black folks, whether privileged, poor, urban, suburban, young, old, live in a state of chronic anxiety, fear, and shame. And that's heavy. That's heavy.
Yeah.
And so we don't let that cook for a second.
It's heavy, but it's also like I think it's heavier because of the shared weight.
Yes.
Right? Because it's not like, I feel like most people that listen to that can relate.
Yeah.
If not now, at some point, and if not at some point, then maybe their whole lives.
Yes. Yes. And so she takes that and somehow gives you hope by the end, which is always, you can always count on leaving with Bell Hooks more hopeful than when you started. It's going to take a minute to get there.
Can we adopt that from Bell Hooks? Because like some of these books, right? Some of these are heavy. Like again, getting through Invisible Man is tough.
Yes.
But it ends with hope.
And which is why we need community to help us get through.
Yes.
Yes. And so you think about, you know, Rock My Soul, and she's really just getting to the heart of what she calls an identity crisis. Offering critical insight about what it takes to heal, and she has many different definitions of healing, and how the scars of the past kind of promote and maintain self-esteem in ways that don't always serve us and in ways that do. But what she ultimately looks to do is set a foundation for how do we emerge in grounded community? How do we create community that actually pours into us? And how do we do so with a prosperous future in mind? And really, when you think about that, next to Invisible Man, right, is this like, think about if that character had read this book. What would it look like? How would your text have changed? And I think that's what's so critical about Bell Hooks is like, you read Bell Hooks when you are ready to change how you see the world and how you see yourself.
Yep.
And sometimes not everybody's ready for that.
Nah, because it's hard.
It's hard work.
Right? Like the easiest thing to change is your mind if you let it, but letting it is really hard to do.
Yes.
Right? Because like you think that the way you see the world is right. Whether it's benefiting you or not.
Yes.
Whether it's like doing you a disservice or not, you think that's just how it is. How many times do people say that's just how it is?
Right.
As if like it has to continue that way. There's nothing that's been around for that long. Very few things, right?
No.
Especially now as more things change. Like we used to always have like a family unit, right? That's like very human in our nature.
Yeah.
But that's changed. We used to only know maybe 300, 400 people.
Right.
Now you got 3 million followers. I don't.
Not me.
The show does.
Right, you know. But I think there's a point there too, because you know, you said we used to always have the family unit. We used to always have matriarchies. We used to always have villages. And so it's like when you think about how we're really supposed to move as people who are expansive, and you think about the family unit and the function of the family unit, it's very insular. And there's things that emerge from that are really positive.
Mm-hmm.
But there's also ways that when you stick that insular family unit in a capitalist hellscape.
Damn, not a capitalist hellscape. I mean, that's it's accurate if you check the news.
Yeah. Or don't check the news. Don't check the news.
Just go about it.
Yeah, non-Western media. But I mean, there's a truth to that where it's like you can take a good thing and you put it in what we have, and it's never going to work for our benefit. Sometimes it does, but long-term longevity.
But can it?
If we're well.
Say more.
I think what this book challenges us to do is examine, are you well actually? And being okay with being messy.
So you can be well and messy?
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Can you define well?
Well is, do I know my foundation? Do I find joy in my day-to-day? And do I have people who I can go to who can pull me there if I don't have those things? Now, if material needs are met, that's material needs based.
Survival.
Right. Like I'm not talking about if shelter,
No
food,
house,
water,
no heat.
right. Health insurance. That should all be.
Yep.
We don't debate those things here. Those are just a given. And they need to be a given, and they're not in this society. So well is.
So there's a ladder you got to climb to get to well.
Yes.
And it's I think that's the hardest ladder.
Mm-hmm.
I do think that if you don't have it,
Yes.
is the hardest ladder.
Yes.
And there's so many cracks in the system where you could have that, right? You could have ascertain that level of survival.
Yes.
And falling through a crack.
Mm-hmm.
But if one person falls through a crack, that can ripple effect.
Absolutely.
That can ripple so far.
And that's why Bell Hooks talks about class.
Right.
Because you can't access a lot of this high level wellness.
Like how are you supposed to go get a job if you didn't go to sleep in a house the night before? Like everyone's like, oh, just go get a job at McDonald's. No,
You
what?
don't.
How?
Because now you need 3 degrees to work at McDonald's. How are you getting them degrees if you don't have a house? Because if you don't have a house, you don't have Wi-Fi.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have a house,
you
probably don't have access to, being able to take shower, which means that you cannot go into a lot of establishments.
And how are you going to go work at McDonald's if you don't know where your next meal's coming from?
That too.
How are you functioning if you don't have the bare necessities?
Yes.
So that's an interesting perspective. All right, let's just assume we've closed those systemic gaps.
Yes.
Like where we fall out of the system.
We'll assume we've closed those. Yeah.
The wellness.
Yes. So to your question, being well is that.
Mm-hmm.
And you can be in process. And when I think of messy, I think a lot of times we're conditioned to think of messy as bad, right? Like,
messy's real.
Go clean up your mess. You guys, you got
real.
too much. But it's real. And I think when we understand that we are allowed to be in process, I am not the same person I was 3 years ago.
Nor should you be.
And nor should I be. 3 years from now, I'm not going to be the same person.
You're not the same as you'll be tomorrow.
Right.
Like it's always changing. And the more
Right.
you accept change as a constant,
Yes.
then you can flow with the change and like welcome the change, welcome the
Yes.
experience, welcome even the challenges. Like
Yes.
some of the hardest years of my life were the ones that I appreciate and love and would like honestly go back and do again. Because not go back and do it again because like they happened. I don't want to change anything, but like I look back upon with appreciation.
How you grew.
Yeah.
And how you got through.
Mm-hmm.
Like that matters. And I think what Bell Hooks does is she takes that messiness and recognizes that it's inevitable.
Okay.
And so it's like, what comes after? What comes after the fight? What comes after all of this shit that you gotta work through? What's the next step? And I think, you know, you can kind of even just see that in how she sets up the book. Like, it opens up with healing wounded hearts. It's the first chapter. And it moves to lasting trauma. And that first part of the book is heavy, but she doesn't leave you there. She doesn't say, we can only be this.
It's not the end.
By the time you get to the end, it's seeking salvation, a revolution of values, restoring our souls. And like, that's an unending quest. That's an unending quest.
But you have to start off at that, the reality of that hurt, right?
Yes.
Because if you broke your leg, you're not just gonna not get the surgery to fix your leg.
Right.
If your leg is facing that way and the other half is facing that way,
that's a perfect metaphor.
you're gonna go and get your leg surgically fixed,
yes.
and you're not gonna walk on it the next day.
No.
You're gonna take some time for it to heal, and it's like it's a metaphor that works because people can understand physical hurt so easily.
Yes.
We create the
yes.
literacy, we create the stories, we create the narratives, and we accept them. We don't attach anything to, oh shit, you broke your leg, that sucks. Like,
yeah,
that's it.
Yes.
Right? I hope you get better. Right? That's it. You have something that happens to you in your life that hurts you emotionally or spiritually or mentally, and since we can't physically see the hurt,
yeah,
even though it shows up in ways we can physically see, like, if you were
It
going through
means that we
something, I would hope I would be able to tell. If
Right.
I was going through something, I would hope that you would be, hey, what's up
Yes.
with you? You seem different.
yes,
And then we've created stigmas, right? We've created these narratives that you would walk around with the broken leg
yeah,
of your
absolutely.
spirit or your emotions.
Absolutely.
Right? And it's, again, back to systems, creating access points
Right.
and space, like emotional space for people
Yes.
to go and repair those hurts so that they can get to restoring their spirit. Or revolutionizing your values?
Yeah.
Come the fuck on.
Right.
Like, if we don't need to revolutionize our values right now.
But that's the thing, like, when you get to wellness, when you're
then you can have
able,
space.
you can actually grow alongside people. Like, what am I doing in community if I know my friends aren't well?
Yeah.
And if I don't know my friends aren't well and I'm not able to have that conversation with them, that's something that I'm avoiding in me.
Yeah.
And that's got to be tended to. And what that looks like in every season might differ, but I think how we show up for people in friendship especially has really, because we are trying to navigate this world in the way that we are, we lose sight of not only pulling ourselves back from our emotions and not wrestling with all the things that hooks urges us to tend to, not tending to our gardens. We then lose the ability to actually tend to others.
Facts. Yeah.
And that matters. And also, even if I'm not well, because I think we also have this stigma with friendship where it's like, I gotta be 100 to be able to show up for you. Sometimes I can come to you and say, I'm a mess. Like, this shit's not going how I want it to. This happened. And then that also allows you to recognize that, oh, I can be that way too.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's science behind community and belonging.
Yes.
Right? Like, there's so much to that, like having that shared experience.
Yes.
Even if, like, Coach hat back on, right? Like, say we're on a team, we both lost. Like, we both lost. We both feel shitty.
Exactly.
We both respond to that loss different.
Exactly.
But, like, let's go through it together as opposed to being like, yo, fuck you, you're the reason we lost.
Yep.
That's not it.
No.
That's not the next,
Don't
right?
lose the lap, you will lose everything.
What's the right next thing?
Yep.
According to Bell Hooks, it would be to, hey, let's go do this together.
And how do we revolutionize our values? And she says something that I'm going to leave us with in this book. And she says, we often overestimate the degree to which exploitative behavior has been normalized and the degree to which we've internalized these norms. It takes a commitment to an acutely self-conscious practice to be able to think and behave better than we've been taught.
Okay, so let me run this back to you in my own words. So we've, like, normalized not being well.
Yes.
We've normalized it to the point that we just accept that we're gonna go without,
yes,
and we're going to struggle. And what that's done to us is made us accept it, and not even be able to get to the position where we can start to think about it and change it
and grow. Yeah, because and that's I think what she challenges us to do this entire book. Like that self-awareness, that's a rigorous investment day to day. When you live in a world like we live in, you are constantly fighting slipping into apathy.
Yeah.
You are constantly fighting slipping into depression. And it's like you have to be self-aware enough, and you have to have people around you who are also committed to their own self-awareness, where it's like we're actually not going to accept normalizing an abnormal culture. Because we can't. We have too much
agency.
We have too much agency, but we have too much brilliance. We have too much glory within ourselves to accept what's here.
We don't have enough agency. Because if we did,
there's a whole argument. Yeah.
We'd be displaying that excellence, utilizing that excellence, centralizing the excellence.
Ooh.
Instead of dividing it all up,
You said centralizing the excellence, and that immediately makes me think of why are we sitting at tables that don't want us there?
Yo, sitting at tables we used to be on the menu.
Why are we asking for Audra McDonald to go win Miss Tony when we know damn well that Audra is the best Broadway to ever do it? Fight with your mama, I don't care. But why are we going to these award shows that are violent?
Well, because of the money. You win an Oscar.
Yeah.
You win a Tony. You win any of these things, right? Your streams go up. You go from playing a club scene to playing a venue. If you're already playing venues, you go to playing stadiums. And then you're in a whole different financial position. So if the incentive of creating that art, even if its incentive of creating the art is the money.
Yeah.
Money, right? The money's attached to it. So that's why, right? That's the why. And I think we have to look at it that way. Because if we're going to compete, right? If we're going to compete in a space, and that's what it is, like everything's a competition. Everything's a competition for attention, for access, for pipeline, for like anything, right? You're competing. So if one of the incentives for that competition is financial, that's why you go to the award show. You got to go and get your money up.
And I think about Tracy McMillan Cotton is a sociologist who talks about this with AI and the way that we understand these things as inevitable. And I wrestle with this a lot because it's like, I hear that argument, right? You gotta get the bag, you gotta get what you got, whatever. And we give these things legitimacy.
Yeah.
We choose what we value. We choose what we regard. And I also think about that with what we're doing right now in this country. We are choosing to pay attention to a government that we know doesn't work for us. A system that we know doesn't work for us. And it's that 1 foot in, 1 foot out mentality. Because you can't ever completely divest, but you can make something irrelevant and trivial in such a way where you almost make a mockery of the thing. And then it loses its legitimacy. It loses its power. And with the government, that's a little bit different of a scale. We got a lot more that we need to traverse before we can do that to an extent.
Huh.
But when you think about award shows...
Yeah, the award show would be it's one day.
Right.
Right? But they make it into a whole cycle.
It's
like
a whole...
if no one went, like we just didn't go.
That's what I'm saying. Didn't go, but then created something over here that was different. That actually valued art for art's sake, that wasn't paid off by...
Are you saying that we should have a anti-Turning Point USA of the award season? Yes. Like, do we just need to have
That's precisely what
the same exact time, but like all us? I see it.
Because why not? Because I think, and again, I don't even think like...
I mean, you even do something different. We have the NAACP Image Awards. And people have been showing out to that.
Those are bought. They're bought in a very particular way. If we can get back to foundation, if we can get back to... We actually don't want corporations. We don't need the corporations to back this. We are going to back this off the strength of art for art's sake. We're not going to allow people to vote on a committee who have interest over here in this particular with this particular politic even. And I don't know, I think that's asking a lot of people. It's asking for a leap of faith, but it's also asking us to understand that everything starts and ends with us.
Who's the us in this?
I think the us is people who are invested in see, not all skin folk, kin folk, so I want to be careful with how I word this. People who understand that our liberation is intertwined internationally, and people who understand that we cannot fundamentally get free unless every single person in every single person has the same chance at liberation.
Okay. That's a clearly defined circle. And one that is, I think, big enough to get enough people to have that type of like a, because right, if we have an award show that we create and we have 100 people that care about it,
right?
What's that do? Even if you have 100,000 people, what's that do? Right?
It interrupts. You could
be, it interrupts, but does it interrupt on scale? Is the goal to be on scale, or is the goal to just have this? Again, it's a centralized, and it starts with one or two and expands and ripples. But what's the goal of it? Is it to compete with that, or is it to just have your own? And I think that's just an important thing to think about. But like that goes back to
James Baldwin
having the seat at the table. How big is your table?
Yes, and I think about James Baldwin in that regard because James Baldwin said, if you're an artist, you are never doing art to pursue fame. Mm-hmm. As soon as you pursue fame, you are no longer doing art. And that's not exactly what he said, but it was along those lines. It was a conversation with Maya Angelou on PBS. God, back in the...
Yeah, it's been a minute.
Yeah. But I think that's a question that we have to ask ourselves is what is art alongside capitalism?
So that's... Because it used to be separate. At one point it was separate.
To an extent.
But it's going to get more and more connected forever, I think.
Yeah, we have one family now that owns all of our media.
We're gonna have a different country who owns it soon.
Every single major media outlet, yes.
Till Saudi Arabia buys it all.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, well, look, we could keep going on and on, but I think one of the things that I want to kind of turn us back to is seat at the table, interlude, glories in you. And really just kind of leave us with, like, what those lyrics were saying. And I'm just going to read it because it says, sometimes you have to ask yourself, where's the peace? Everybody is always talking about peace, but as long as you find peace in what you're doing, then you're successful. And that's what people don't realize. See, you got to do stuff till you got to go to sleep at night because the glory is in you.
That's deep. It's so simple.
Yes.
And I think that's what's beautiful about it, right? It's just it's already there. You don't have to go looking. There. You don't have to go searching. You have to go and like experience, but it's still there. Like the light is there. It's inside you already. You just got to figure out how you're gonna let it shine.
Exactly. And you got to figure out at the end of the day, as long as you find peace, then you have found success.
That's hard. That's hard to, I think at parts when I couldn't finish Invisible Man.
Yeah.
that was hard for me to accept.
Yeah.
Right? Like, because you're conditioned to perform.
Yes.
You're conditioned to define success by what success has been generally defined as.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you can be successful, but if you have this, or if you've done this, or if you've been here, or if you've been to this award show, or if you've got this accolade, or drive this car, or wear these clothes, right? Then you can be successful. But then there's people who get to that, all those things, and don't feel peace.
Right.
Because those things don't. I mean, they're
Which
cool.
is why, with Invisible Man, we see the institutions fall away. We see all of that fall away, and what is left?
Just light.
Had it all. Had the trustee sitting next to him in the car.
Had the job, had the leadership.
Right.
All the institutions faded away.
And what was left?
Just a man in a hole.
Yeah. And I think, so let's kind of go back through this funnel here. If you had to describe Invisible Man in three words or 3 points of what you hope someone gets from reading this book, what are you hoping?
Oh man, 3 words is crazy, Kay. You know,
3 points.
Words.
I'm gonna give you 3.
No, we're doing it 3 words because you want to be 3 words. No, that's cool. I think it's. I want to say something about what Grandpa said, because Grandpa said it.
I like that, bringing us back to elder wisdom.
Right? Know your roots.
Oof, yep.
It's know your roots. And like, even where it ends, like, he's underground. He's where the foundation is. He's physically where the foundation is. Right? And he's getting to know himself while he's in that space. So I would say, know your roots is what I would want you to take away from Invisible Man. Because once you know your roots, it doesn't matter if they see you. Right? Because you know who you are all the way down to your core. So if you know your roots, you can never be invisible.
Yeah. Yeah. Ooh. If you know your roots, you can never be invisible. Brilliant. I think I'm going to leave us with oof, not me getting bit by my own plant.
3 words.
Labor of love. I think when you read Hooks, I want folks to understand that it's a labor of love. You got to approach this with no ego. You got to approach it with humility. And you got to approach it prepared to grow and prepared to struggle. And that's a labor of love. That's a labor of the highest form of love. Bell Hooks demands excellence.
We need more people to demand excellence.
We need
to demand more excellence.
Yes. Yes.
I think we started off with some great books, some great albums.
Yeah.
For you, for your album, Seat at the Table. If someone's never listened to Solange, no idea who she is, what's the track that you're giving off of this, and why?
I'm gonna say Jesus. I want folks to listen to Don't You Wait.
Why?
Because it challenges people to know that you already have everything you need. And I think with Solange, like the way that she pulls in elder wisdom into the interludes of this album, she got her mama, she got her daddy, she got a whole journey of a spectrum of emotions. And that That's it. She wants you to know that what you have is already there, and that you are messy, and that's okay, and that's only going to continue to feed how you rise.
Hell yeah. Bad.
Yeah.
I think for the To Pimp a Butterfly from Kendrick, I have to pick two.
Okay.
But they coincide in the album. They coincide in my interpretation of them. You and I. So You is just like this angry, hurtful song about like his relationship with society at large, right? It talks about Lucy. Lucy is Lucifer, aka the industry, the devil, all the temptations. Yeah. Right? And there's this anger back and forth throughout that song. And
anger is present on both of these tracks.
100%. Yeah. But the I, right? With when you get to I, that's where the bell hooks hope of it all, right? So like we can be in despair, we can be in a despaired place, but we gotta end with hope. Yes. And I love myself. Yes. Right? Like Kendrick talks about this throughout his discography, not just on this album, but the idea of you gotta love you, right? And you gotta choose you over and over again. Not in a selfish way that says we can't be in community, but I gotta make sure I'm cool and make sure I'm well, and then I can go find my purpose and my gift and my light, and then I go shine it and share it with y'all. Yes. Right? So You and I are the two from that album. And I think we just finished our first episode of the Books and Bars Social Club show. We did. Wow. That's amazing. That's amazing. So we'll be back. Where we headed next? What book you got on? I'm on The Alchemist and Lauryn Hill. Miseducation of Lauryn Hill, the greatest hip hop album for right now that we could ever need right now. Yes. I promise you. I can't wait for that episode. That's gonna be amazing. That's gonna be a good one. What about you? I got A Black Queer History of the United States. Yes, we go in queer, we go in there. And What's Going On? Marvin Gaye. Look. We're gonna be on our feelings next month. We're going to be in our feelings. Because truly, what is going on? What is going on? Brothers and fathers crying. Oh my goodness. I'm already. Man, I always have questions. I'm ready. Questions that never got answered. All right, y'all. Thank you for watching the first episode of the Books and Bars show. We'll be back next month, which might be a little sooner. Yeah. You'll see us. We're going to work it out. We're going to work it out. But like, follow, subscribe, and we'll catch you next time. Peace. Peace. Damn, that was boom. Smooth. That was smooth. Come on.